What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Nunchuk figure. So we have Nunchuk here with a nice artwork on the box with an artwork picture of him to the side, and of course the figure all posed up in action there against the city backscape, which looks cool, and his weapons there on the side. Of course, on the side, that same picture we saw on the front, and on the back we have the figure breakdown that he's going to be 6.1 inches tall, and all the weapon accessories he's going to come with, and some of the features, and of course his classification breakdown there. That, of course, it'd be nice if the Hasbro website was working so we could check to figure out what those are. So that's for Nunchuk. So let me go and get him out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So Nunchuk's real name is Ralph Badducci from Brooklyn, New York. He was trained in the mystic fighting forms by the Blind Master, and as a member of G.I. Joe's Ninja Force, he serves as the chief martial arts instructor to pass on his knowledge to the entire team. And in reading, he was recruited into Ninja Force by Storm Shadow, so Storm Shadow was in the Joes at this point in time. And overall, he looks pretty cool. I like this design a lot. One thing he has, I'd say, like a gi outfit, it's mostly just with his upper shirt. The pants is kind of, well, I guess they could be sort of gi pants because they are sort of baggy, but how they have like the camo design, so they're all this lighter green color with the darker green stripes, almost like tiger stripes over the top. So that's one thing that always stands out to me. And then we have his head design, which is pretty cool, so we can see some of his face. And then he has like the balaclava, so I assume he's completely covered, but has this hat design where it's like the material, so it comes and hangs down over the back of his neck with the band wrapped around his head. So that's cool. I like that design. It just adds some more details. And that collar of the balaclava, like the dark gray, kind of continues down his neck. And as you see, he's got a chest harness here, so he has a slot for a knife, a grenade hanging off there, and then the big pieces going around to the back where it has a slot if he would have a backpack with the hole back there. Then we have some armor up on his arm, so up on his shoulder he has that. I love, again, the segmented armor that comes down, so it's down to the bicep, and then on the forearm has the same sort of design continuing down to the hand, so we have that on both sides. Of course, that belt around the waist with all sorts of holders and stuff we'll be able to put his weapons in, so that's cool. And then those pants, like I said, that kind of have some bagginess, so I guess could be gi-like pants, all the way down to the shoes where he has the tabby style shoes with the toe design. So overall, a nice looking design. Of course, I wasn't too excited, just another green and gray sort of action figure, but there's just something about this that sort of stands out, that makes it, with like the head design, the colors and stuff, makes it stand out a little bit more than normal. But for movements, we get the head that will twist around. Of course, you have to worry about the headpiece there, so it'll twist around with it, and he can look down that far and up that far. So with the movements there in the lower neck as well, he gets pretty decent movements back and forth. Then we get the shoulders that come up, which are a little bit stiffer, probably because of this armor. Don't allow it to go, but if you do force, you can pretty much get close to 90 with the butterfly that goes back and forth just a little bit, so a little bit back and forth, and of course it rotates around. We do get a bicep twist as well with the double elbow joints. The joints are going to be pretty stiff because of the pinless joint designs, but it can at least bend up that far, which is really good. And then we get the wrist that'll twist all the way around. Now this has the hinge up and down hand, so we have that there. Then we go to the ab crunch, so we have the clear cutout crunch, so we crunch forward and crunch back, so pretty decent crunching, again mostly back for these. And then we also have the crunching at the waist, so it can crunch back and forth and twist around just a little. I don't know if it twists all the way around. Yeah, it kind of feels like it does, so it can twist around in there. So you have some movements, then down to the hips up to 90, and then out to the side. I feel this one's a little stiff, but can come out to do the splits. And of course, it's kind of like a drop down hip, but real stiff on this side. Then we get the thigh twist that twists all the way around. The double knee joint that, as I mentioned, is real stiff, so I have to kind of fight around with that. Can go up to the back and pretty much kick himself in the butt. And then we get this shin twist at the top of the leg there, and then the foot flex back and forth and twist side to side. So the pretty standard G.I. Joe movements, of course, like I said, stiffness in the knees and elbows, and then with not having any like chest armor and stuff, he gets the ab crunches in there, which a lot of times inhibits the figures, but overall pretty decent movements. Like I said, just stiffness, unfortunately. But then we move to his accessories. So first we get a set of tails that hang off the back of his head. So if you saw when I was pointing out, he does have a hole back there, so we can pop this in, so it just pops in the back of his head like that and sort of hangs back there. And of course, with the design, you can sort of move it wherever you want. And then we start with his weapons. So first we have a knife, so just a knife in this all dark gray color. I love the handle design, how it's kind of got that little swirl design to it, so that looks nice. And we can stick this into the sheath here on his chest, so just slide it right down in there. Then we'll go to his sword, so he gets two swords, which I don't know what design these are, but they're pretty cool looking swords that come up with the like sort of curve to it, which looks cool. Have some serration there on the back, nice green wrappings around there, and the handles that have this sort of cool design, and again look pretty nice, almost look like little snakes or something there. It's hard to tell what those are unless they're like tiger heads, not exactly sure, but we have these. Let's go and put these in his hands, and there he has the swords in his hands, and that looks really cool. But of course, did those first so we can then take them out and put them into the sheath. So he has the little slots here on his belt so we can take and slide these in. Of course, with that curve, it makes it a little bit difficult, and it kind of looks like it may be rubbing paint off with there. So you got to be a little bit careful with that. We can take and just slide both of those in to store them there on the sides of his belt. One thing that's cool is we get a set of claws that can go onto his hand, so it's almost like a set of Wolverine claws, but pretty cool with the ninja style claws there with the longest claw in the center. It looks pretty cool, and we just take and slide these onto his hands, so you just kind of get them around into his hands. That'll hang off. So let me try these, and there he has those claws on his hands, so that looks really cool. Nice, awesome design. Of course, there is still room where you could probably try to fit some weapons in there, so he could have a weapon as well as the claws, which would be pretty cool, but there's not much room, so I doubt they'd really hold on too well. But those are really cool, but just want to show those off. Now, unfortunately, we don't have anywhere to store those on him, so we don't really have much to do with that, but let's go and take these off. But finally, he comes with his namesake of nunchucks, so we get 2 sets of nunchucks, which again have that head design. Again, I wish I could tell the detail of what they're supposed to be, whether it's a snake or supposed to be a tiger, but they look really cool. So we have a set of nunchucks that we can put into his hands. Now, I do want to put these in his hands, like I said, since it's his namesake, but we do have the slots on the back as well, so you can sort of take and bend these together and slide them down in here, so you can store them on him just like that. So I just wanted to show you that, but let's go and put these into his hands. And with the nunchucks in his hands, that's what it looks like. Now, unfortunately, I don't really know how you get them posed up, because, you know, the nunchucks don't have much like looseness to them, so they don't really hang, and you can't really do any sort of posing like effect wise, like you can sort of get him back under his arm like I tried to do there. So it's really hard to figure out what to do with the nunchucks, and since his name is Nunchuk, I want him to have those, but I just don't know what you do to get it to really look good pose wise. But there he has those at least, and with him being a part of the ninja force, we can bring in our other ninja characters. So from the Joe team, we of course have Snake Eyes and then Kamakura, which Kamakura has pretty much the same outfit design as him, so I thought of him a lot as I was doing the figure. So we have those 2 ninjas, and as I mentioned, he was brought into Ninja Force by Storm Shadow, so we have Storm Shadow here as well. So we have all 3 of those ninja figures to go along here with Nunchuk. So overall, Nunchuk is a pretty cool figure. Like the design, like his weapons. Of course, wish he could store those hand claws, and I wish the nunchucks would work out a little bit more, like, you know, be able to pose up around with him, and it was kind of difficult getting him into the slots there on his back, so you just have to figure out what to do with him exactly. But overall, I like his design. He comes with cool accessories with the awesome looking swords, of course the nunchucks from his name, and overall a pretty decent figure. Like I said, not the coolest G.I. Joe figure ever, but I did enjoy it a lot more than I thought I would. So overall, I really like this nunchuck. So let me know your opinions of him down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.